Hey, what's up, everybody? I just had a light bulb moment about 3 weeks ago when I got back into lifting, right? The idea behind it is I try to figure out what the best route is for me to get back into weightlifting and powerlifting. And all the things that I've done in the past just doesn't make sense anymore. And the reason I say that is all the workshops and the weightlifting cycles and the training that I've done in the past, it worked to a certain degree. But if you look back at everything you've done as well, so all the weight training cycles and the coaching and the seminars, workshops, it's really geared for professional lifters, right? Just think about if you were, around long enough, people would joke around or test out things like Smoloff or baby Smoloff, right? It was a really intense squat cycle, really designed for pros to kind of break past their plateaus. And if you think about all the weight training programs and accessory drills that like these current top lifters are selling or programming, that's what they do. They're professionals. They've worked since they were a young kid. Their technique is pretty perfect. They worked out, hours on end, and then they have hours of accessory drills. So they lift like every single day pretty much, right? We can't do that. Those programs aren't designed for us. We could try to follow them, but then guess what happens? There's always two things that happens whenever I tried any weightlifting program, right? Or any training cycle. You're going to get stronger until you don't. You'll plateau, or you get hurt. So think about it. Everything that you've done, do those programs kind of follow into like what you've experienced, right? Not just what I'm experiencing. Again, that's what happens to all of us here in my gym. It's that we don't have the foundation or the baseline or the base amount of training that all of these, top level professional athletes have. We can't train the way they do. One, since we don't have the technique training that they do, then we're going to just create a lot of bad habits and imbalances, and then we're going to get hurt quicker. So how many times have you guys gotten hurt trying to, do 2-a-days or lift more, right? That's not the reason why we want to do more barbell work. We probably just want to do more barbell work because it's fun to get strong that way. We also like barbell lifts because, it's a good stress reliever. But two, we want to be strong for life. So the idea behind it is we need a program that is geared towards the masses, society, like people like myself who I've already put my body through hell from life, right? Basketball, jiu-jitsu, a lot of lifting, CrossFit. Body's kind of beat up. I'm also pushing 40, so I'm not a spring chicken anymore. What I've seen is people that have tried lifting, CrossFit, or, Olympic lifting, powerlifting, whatever you like to call it, they usually wash out about 3 to 5 years, as in they can't deal with any more knee pain, back pain. They blew out their shoulder too many times. They're not going to bench or press anymore. And now I'm kind of in that same boat. When I'm trying to get back into it, I don't want those things to happen either. I don't want to plateau, get injured, and then start the cycle all over again. So what I'm trying to do is fix all those issues and then trying to maintain a base level of strength I'm happy with. I don't think any program factors that in. So it does take training, some program to get your strength level up. Let's say I'm gonna use my front squat for example, because I've been testing this this program for 3 weeks. So I started my base level lift. My minimum for my front squat was like 205. Okay, so the minimum, I call it that because it's the heaviest lift I could do mechanically sound, and so there's no risk, right? Not no risk, very little risk, because testing like a higher percentage, I could have forced a lot more weight. I don't know, maybe even up to 250 that day, but that's when things get crazy and it's a lot higher risk of injury. So I hit 205 as a base because everything was on, my lats, my core, there's very little shifting, no joint pain, right? So the idea is I want to be able to slowly increase that. So whatever program I'm on, whether I take an old school one or the one I'm creating, that's going to get higher to a certain point, right? So the goal is once I get to an amount that I'm happy with forever, right? The longevity mindset, I want to keep that base level of strength because all of the training cycles that you do, programs, are designed to like peak you for competition. You potentially hit a PR, and then the next cycle is going to push you past that because you're offered percentages again, and it promises you like PR after PR. Doesn't work that way. You either plateau or get hurt. So what we're doing is kind of getting stronger, but then now how do we maintain that base level of strength? By the end of the summer, I want to slowly build up, and whatever my body allows me to hit mechanically sound or my new minimum, my hope is to get to maybe 300, like around there, and hold it, and then or 275 as a minimum. But that's all. I'm just gonna let my body tell me where that lies. Those are the things I want. But the goal is I don't need to squat 400 pounds because that might not even be in my cards, but it's too risky. I want to hold my 300-pound front squat for the rest of my life. That's the minimum I want to keep. If I can continue to hit 300 once a week and maintain it and never lose it, obviously there may be some drop off as I get a little older, but I definitely won't go like I used to, go to 300, get hurt or stop lifting, and then drop down to nothing. Just don't do any front squats, and then start back over, and having that cycle where it's like just weak, injured, and then starting all over again. So that's the basic idea. How do we create kind of like strength wealth, right? Because there's a difference between rich and wealthy, right? So the idea is I don't want to be really strong one day or 3 months out of, the year, and then be weak as hell for the rest of the year. I want to be able to have that fundamental strength that I'm happy with for the rest of my life. So I want to be strong year round, because that's going to help me with things I like to do: CrossFit, jiu-jitsu, run around with the kids, you name it. So try to think about that with your own training and see if that kind of holds true to you as well. Like, how many times have you kind of yo-yo, or, it's not like yo-yo dieting, but kind of the same, like yo-yo strength training. Get really strong because you're committed or you had the time to train. Obviously, if you're going to do 2 days, put in 2-3 hours to train, you are going to get way stronger. But think about it. Is that sustainable for you forever? What I'm trying to do with this program is that I want to think long term. I'm only front squatting once a week. But if I continue to front squat once a week, how much strength can I keep long term? So that's just the basic idea. There's definitely a lot more to it. I'm still testing it out. If you're interested in testing it out, that's what we do. It's like open source. We share it with everyone. It's always fun to have a bigger group of people connected, more data. But if you're, tired of getting hurt lifting and you enjoy lifting, how do you get back to lifting? How do you maintain a base level of strength forever, not just get strong for a PR for a competition and then stop lifting altogether? How do you prevent and avoid injuries? How do you continue to work and build your mechanics while still practicing lifting as well? Because that's another big thing, as you guys know, since you follow me. All the weightlifting programs out there do not factor in the mechanics. They're not assessing and helping you fix the imbalances like your hamstring, glutes, lats, obliques, the whole deal. So I know there's a lot to it, but the whole goal is how do we just simplify it? So that's what I've been doing. I continue to post things on Instagram as always, so you can follow along there. But I'm more excited to get back into lifting now because I'm not gun shy of the past, where I was destined to fail, destined to plateau and get injured. And that happens too often, where people start to get a little heavier in lifts or more intensity in workouts, and then boom, blow out their back, their knee, their shoulder, over and over and over again. So we gotta stop the madness. Let's not repeat the same issues over and over again. Let's try to change the mindset. Let's try to update the system, evolve the system, so that people can continue to enjoy to lift for long term. All right, that's pretty much it. Talk to you guys soon.